Alyssa Thomas, in what is an annoying but unsurprising situation, has completely exposed Stephanie White.
Stephanie White completely throws her entire team all the way under the bridge, bruh.
Stephanie White, her girls was cooking, and they were cooking the Indiana Fever's ass is what they was cooking.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
Just when fans thought the rivalry talk couldn't get any hotter, Alyssa Thomas crossed the line.
Want to know the reason why she's been a good coach in this scenario? Because they don't play the Caitlin Clarks. They don't play like they have a Caitlin Clark. But she just got exposed by Alyssa Thomas. This is what she said.
After a heated matchup, she openly called Caitlin Clark and her coach Stephanie White trash, sparking outrage across the league. But instead of breaking Caitlin, this moment showed why she's still the toughest star in the game.
Alyssa Thomas, fully exposing Stephanie White.
On both sides of the ball.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
Alyssa Thomas didn't just celebrate a win on the court, she made it personal. In her post-game remarks, she openly admitted that facing Indiana was simple because, in her words, she already knew everything they're about to do on offense and defense.
Alyssa Thomas admitting that it's they didn't run the same things the Sun were running last year. They're running the exact same thing that the Connecticut Sun were running last year. And with that being said, the Connecticut Sun were not this uber fun team that were good to watch.
That wasn't just a tactical observation, it was a calculated shot. By reducing the Fever's game plan to something predictable and unthreatening, Thomas was essentially labeling both Stephanie White's coaching and Caitlin Clark's leadership as nothing more than trash basketball.
Down the stretch is where coaches go who they trust. And even when Caitlin was healthy, not 1 minute of the season has Stephanie White trusted Caitlin Clark. She has not trusted Caitlin Clark at all. And you can see that with the way she's coached in fourth quarters of games. You can see that in the way that she's the Fever have been playing late in games and what way they're going to. She doesn't trust Caitlin Clark.
This wasn't the usual back and forth you expect between competitors. Instead, it felt like Alyssa was taking pleasure in tearing down a rookie star who has done nothing but carry the league on her back.
Are you going to switch up your offense or are you going to keep it the same? You already ruined the Leah Boston season. She went from a dominant big to I don't know what. Standing out by the perimeter, setting screens and just passing the ball. That's all she does. She's not even a factor anymore. If the All-Star game was being based off of skill, I don't even know if she would have been a starter at this point in time.
Caitlin has been playing through injury, learning to adapt to a system that doesn't maximize her strengths and still drawing historic crowds every single night.
I really do not want to watch Caitlin Clark waste another year under Stephanie White. And that's exactly what's going to happen next season if she comes back. And this is the reason why it's unfortunate, but I hope they don't make the playoffs. I don't want Indiana to make the playoffs. I want anything, whatever it takes to get her off this team, I want that to happen.
To dismiss that effort with a smug, we know everything they do remark wasn't just disrespect. It crossed the line into pure arrogance. And here's what makes Alyssa's words sting even more. She wasn't talking about a random team with no impact. She was targeting the most watched player in women's basketball today. Every time Caitlin steps on the floor, arenas sell out and TV ratings skyrocket.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
Yet instead of acknowledging that, Thomas chose to belittle her in the Fever, hoping to knock them down with words rather than letting the game speak for itself.
I'm so sick and fucking tired of Stephanie White, of her offense, of her defense. None of it makes sense anymore. I understand that she's cool with Kelly and Amber and all of them. I'm sick of it.
By doing so, Alyssa didn't just take aim at Caitlin Clark. She insulted every Fever fan, every supporter who believes in this team, and every person who sees Caitlin as the bright future of the WNBA.
Alyssa Thomas, fully exposing Stephanie White.
On both sides of the ball.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
It wasn't confidence, It was contempt. And that's why so many are saying Alyssa Thomas didn't just talk trash, she crossed a line.
You're a liability. You mean to tell me in 2 years, 3 years, you ain't fixed nothing? They're not even worried about you. I'm confused at how we got here. I'm sorry, y'all. That really pisses me off.
On the surface, Alyssa Thomas may have thought her comments would establish dominance. That by bragging about knowing the Fever's every move, she would make Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White look small. But in reality, it backfired in a big way. First, it exposed Alyssa herself.
It's a pity, and hearing this from Alyssa Thomas, that they run the exact same offense and defense and systems that the Sun ran, it doesn't surprise me, even in the slightest.
Think about it. If you need inside knowledge of an old playbook to beat a rebuilding team led by a rookie, what does that really say about your game? It doesn't prove superiority, it proves dependency.
So let's get right into it.
When it comes time to play against her, how much of an advantage is it to sort of have an understanding of what she likes to run on both sides of the ball?
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
Rather than standing tall on her own accomplishments, Alyssa leaned on familiarity from her past with Stephanie White's coaching system. That's not confidence. That's admitting you can only win when you already know the answers to the test. And even on the night she set career-high numbers, Alyssa couldn't back up her talk with real leadership. She avoided the press conference afterwards.
Well, Pep was slightly better in that the fact is when he had fucking Messi, Messi's the only player that Pep has just said, you know what? All the rest of you guys, you do all the hard work for Messi.
That alone sent a clear message. She was bold enough to throw shade at Caitlin Clark in the Fever, but not bold enough to stand in front of reporters and answer for it. That silence looked less like strength and more like fear of accountability.
Down the stretch is where coaches go who they trust, and even when Caitlin was healthy, for not one minute of the season has Stephanie White trusted Caitlin Clark. She has not trusted Caitlin Clark at all this season. And you can see that with the way she's coached in fourth quarters of games. You can see that in the way that she's the Fever have been playing late in games and what way they're going to. She doesn't trust Caitlin Clark.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark didn't respond with words. She doesn't need to. From her college career to her rookie season, Clark has never been about trash talk. She's about letting her play do the talking.
What we've seen this year, and look, I think Stephanie White's going to get another year. I think it's going to be another year of boring basketball, and it's going to be another year of Caitlin Clark talking about screening. I'm going to become a better screener. It's going to be a year of Caitlin Clark talking about, oh yeah, this season it's going to be good having, they're going to sign another star point guard and she's going to be there. They're going to sign another 38-year-old and it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be there. It's great. We're going to have this veteran experience. And
even in a system that hasn't always highlighted her strengths, she continues to push the Fever forward, inspiring teammates and keeping fans invested every step of the way. And fans notice the difference.
I mean, fully exposing Stephanie White.
On both sides of the ball.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
While Alyssa chose arrogance, Caitlin chose class. That's why the backlash turned against Thomas almost immediately. Across social media, fans called her comments bitter and jealous. They see what's really happening.
I think you try to call timeouts to stop momentum. You try to call some things that can get us some good looks, try to address the problems in live action. But ultimately, it's got to be executed on the floor.
Oh, she just threw the players under the bus.
Alyssa is a veteran who's been in the league for years, yet she's frustrated that despite all her stats, it's Caitlin Clark who headlines every broadcast, who fills every arena, and who's become the heartbeat of women's basketball in record time. The disrespect didn't diminish Caitlin.
this is the biggest reason why Stephanie White, I think, has been such a success with the Indiana Fever, because they're playing Connecticut Sun basketball. Stephanie White is good at dragging teams down to her level. And you might have said, oh, but like, what about the game? And I do think that 1,000,000% Alyssa Thomas is a front runner. I think Alyssa Thomas is a front runner. She literally set her career high and didn't even go in for the press conference because Stephanie White beat her. And the difference is the reason why the Fever won that game was nothing to do with their sets and their offense. It was everything to do with Ari McDonald just going head down straight to the basket.
It highlighted exactly why she's the most important player in the league right now. The truth is simple. When you're forced to tear down someone else, it usually means you feel threatened. And that's exactly what happened here.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense.
Bro, everything is pretty much the same. Defense, offense. You are a liability at this point. You can't stay here. Everybody knows what you're gonna do. Everybody knows what you're. Bro, can we stop playing games? If y'all got all this bread to throw away on people who don't even want to play here, like y'all really can't get no motherfucking real money up for Lisa Buddha. Like for real. You really can't get no real money up for Lisa Buddha.
Alyssa Thomas tried to label Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White as trash, but all she really did was prove just how much Caitlin's presence has changed the landscape of the WNBA.
And we all know who her girls are, Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. She adores them. She adores them. They do play for the opposite team, by the way. I don't know. I got to be honest. If you watch Stephanie White on the side of the court, how many times have you actually caught her actively coaching? Actively coaching. I've seen Austin Kelly actively coaching more than I've actually seen Stephanie White actually coach.
Alyssa Thomas's trash talk didn't just reveal her arrogance. It pulled back the curtain on a deeper problem inside the Indiana Fever. And that problem is not Caitlin Clark. It's the system she's been forced to play in. Thomas made it clear when she said, "We know everything they're about to do on both sides of the ball."
Yeah, we turnovers certainly hurt us. I think there were like three turnovers in a row that led to threes. Turnovers hurt us, and our lack of attention to detail defensively. I thought our defense in the second half was outstanding, but it's got to be for 40 minutes, and it's got to be all five. It can't just be 2 or 3 and then another 2 or 3 that aren't.
That wasn't just an insult. It was an indictment of Stephanie White's coaching. Instead of building a new identity around Caitlin Clark, the Fever's generational star, White dragged over her old Connecticut Sun playbook and tried to make Indiana run it piece by piece.
Maybe that's why I'm so hard on her. But I'll never know. Because for some fucking reason, you thought it was smart to make her be a hub, to make her be a joker. You out here experimenting, just doing shit, playing with people's careers. People are playing to win a championship. And now here come you and you just want to, hey, Kelsey, I want you to play 5.
Opponents now openly admit they know every action, every set, every defensive rotation before it happens. That's not strategy, that's predictability. And in professional basketball, predictability is deadly. But the issue goes even deeper. Time and time again this season, Stephanie White has chosen to deflect blame onto her players rather than take responsibility as head coach.
I think Stephanie White is a good basketball coach, but I will double and triple down on my sentiment that Stephanie White is not going to be the right coach. Like, she's going to be the coach next year. Stephanie White is not going to be the coach in 2027. They'll give her the job next year. She's going to last the season. She's done well enough that she can keep her job for another season. They're not going to get rid of 2 coaches in 2 years. She's going to be a coach for another year, and then she's going to be gone.
After tough losses, she stood at the podium and repeated the same excuses. Attention to detail, turnovers, execution. What she really meant was, it's the players' fault. That kind of leadership doesn't build trust. It destroys it. When your coach is more comfortable throwing you under the bus than standing up for you, how can a young star like Caitlin Clark feel supported? Even worse, when the game is on the line, White often takes the ball out of Caitlin's hands.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. We literally just sat here and wasted a whole year. Bro, I got Paramount, I got a Sling TV, Fubo TV, I got a WNBA pass, I got Prime Video. I already had that, but bro, that's too much. I'm paying all this to watch women's basketball, and I can't even see Clark. And this is the reason why a lot of people is just like, oh yeah, well, look at all the injuries. Nah, fuck them injuries.
Instead of trusting the player who redefined college basketball, broke viewership records, and instantly turned the Fever into a national brand, she defers to role players or forces clunky sets that sideline Caitlin's strengths. The result? A system that makes Indiana look stagnant and gives rivals like Alyssa Thomas the confidence to laugh at them. And yet, here's the remarkable part.
So now she flat left them because everybody left. So now she's in Indiana trying to act like she's this top-notch coach, speaking like an analyst, knowing what's going on. She's paying attention to every team. She can tell you their ups, their downs, their ins and outs, all of that shit, but can't do nothing with Indiana. This is ridiculous. All you had to do was watch the Fever from last season. That's it.
Caitlin Clark keeps rising above it. She doesn't clap back in press conferences. She doesn't let the disrespect rattle her. Even when she's pushed off the ball or made to play out of position, she finds ways to contribute, whether it's with her passing, her vision, or her sheer leadership presence.
I really do not want to watch Caitlin Clark waste another year under Stephanie White. And that's exactly what's going to happen next season if she comes back. And this is the reason why it's unfortunate, but I hope they don't make the playoffs. I don't want Indiana to make the playoffs. I want anything, whatever it takes to get her off this team, I want that to happen.
Teammates like Ari McDonald and Kelsey Mitchell benefit from her gravity. Fans keep showing up in record numbers because they believe in Caitlin's future, even if the current system doesn't. So when Alyssa Thomas labeled the Fever trash, she wasn't really exposing Caitlin Clark.
That's how good Stephanie White is with lying, dog. I ain't bullshit, man. She is one of them ones. Now, we ultimately know that the team did lose to the Phoenix Mercury last night, and now we're dropped back down to 8th place. And it's looking real spooky for the Indiana Fever playoff hopes. And something else you've been lying about is Caitlin Clark. It's looking spooky for her coming back, man. I really wanted to go to a game this year, and I don't think I'm going to Indy Friday, bro.
She was exposing a coaching philosophy that refuses to evolve. The disrespect from rivals doesn't land on Caitlin. It lands on the system holding her back. And if Indiana wants to truly compete,
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense.
Bro, everything is pretty much the same. Defense, offense. You are a liability at this point. You can't stay here. Everybody knows what you're going to do. Everybody knows what you're... Bro, can we stop playing games? If y'all got all this bread to throw away on people who don't even want to play here, like, y'all really can't get no motherfucking real money up for Lisa Buddha. Like, for real. You really can't get no real money up for Lisa Buddha?
they'll need to stop treating Clark like just another player in a recycled scheme and start building around her as the generational star she is. Until then, Caitlin will keep doing what she always does, carrying herself with class, proving doubters wrong, and showing the world that no amount of trash talk can bury true greatness.
Lexi Hull is being like, okay, offensively, I need to be the player that's going to hit the open three. I need to be the player that's going to spread out the defense and give space to the post. So, well, what should be Aaliyah Boston all the time has, unfortunately, again, Stephanie White, too often been Natasha Howard, and Lexi Hull's popping herself into the wide three-point shot, because also you get Kelsey Mitchell who can drive and kick it out as well. But she has a lot more to her game, and I think it needs to be noticed and recognized. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video. Thank you for all of the support. Really do appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content, like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill by now. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.
Alyssa Thomas may have thought her words would break Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, but all they did was shine a spotlight on how much fear Caitlin creates in her opponents. You don't waste time calling someone trash unless deep down you know they're a threat. And that's exactly what Caitlin Clark is.
Last night is a perfect example, and I will never not call this out until it is addressed and handled, and it will never be addressed and handled because the WNBA and Kathy Engelbert are too scared of the players. I will forever call out the fact that that entire game.
The future of this league. While rivals talk, Caitlin continues to inspire, fill arenas, and push her team forward against all odds.
Alyssa Thomas, in what is an annoying but unsurprising situation, has completely exposed Stephanie White.
Stephanie White completely throws her entire team all the way under the bridge, bruh.
Stephanie White, her girls was cooking, and they were cooking the Indiana Fever's ass is what they was cooking.
A huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same. So defense, offense, we know everything they're about to do.
That's why fans rally behind her. And that's why the WNBA's growth is tied to her name. Trash talk comes and goes, but greatness always wins. So tell me in the comments, do you stand with Caitlin Clark after Alyssa Thomas crossed the line?